What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And yeah, let's acknowledge it. A thing happened. There are times I feel confident about it, there are times I don't. This was not the intended look. I don't have a specific eyebrow trimmer. I know you can get them. Yeah. I simply just forgot to extend the guard on my razor from being the lowest setting, which is what I generally use for down here, and we ended up shaving almost completely shaving our eyebrows off. Thankfully the guard was still there and we still have something there to fill in for it. But honestly, we're more thankful for the fact that we did this, because it helps sort of, I don't know, tie it in a bit better. It is still sort of sitting down a little bit. I had it sort of stuck down while I was at work, but otherwise we do end up kind of looking a little bit like Beak the Muppet. So for this video, we're doing this. I've got to try and figure out a way that I'm going to be, for the most part, I'm just going to sort of, let's see if it works. I just want to see, because we've got some things coming up that I'm actually going to be wearing this beanie for. Yeah, cool. It works. Alright, cool. So yeah, let me get into what this video is actually about, the reason you clicked on it. This weekend is I think this Sunday is the Mardi Gras parade, which is actually the official closing ceremony for Mardi Gras each year. And so I thought, since that's a thing, and since Oz Comic Con also has a 2-day pop-up in Sydney on the 6th and 7th, the same weekend, that we're gonna take a little trip. That's what we're doing. That's the little thing that I teased you all about in my favorites. I think it was my favorites video. But yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing. I'm really looking forward to it. If I can find one more piece, I'm probably even gonna dye my hair. We'll see how effectively I can dye my hair. But we're gonna do that, and maybe do a gender bend on Fetch Walker instead of the Delson Rowe cosplay, because I am going to Oz Comic Con in cosplay. I'm really looking forward to it, so much. And then obviously on the Sunday night, I believe it's a Sunday night, I will be attending Mardi Gras as well. So looking forward to that as well. And so that brings us to the theme of this year, which is Rise. I have got the official Mardi Gras website open. You can't see half of that because of how overexposed it is. And I've got the official, look, that's my ring light, but I've got the official thing open here. It reads as follows. This past year has undoubtedly been one of unprecedented challenge and hardship. The impact of droughts, fires, floods, and a global pandemic tested our spirit and our resolve. Our community, this community obviously being the LGBT one, understands the pain many people have gone through and stands alongside them in support. We know and love the power of people and communities that rise together and support others to overcome adversity and inequality. It's time we rise together again. In tough times and in good, discrimination will only divide and take us backwards. When we rise together through love, compassion, respect, and understanding, we will all arrive at a better place. When we rise to the occasion, amazing things can happen. We are agents of change. We rise to the challenge of being our true selves, of loving who we love, of discovering our own identities, culture, and creativity. We connect, we overcome fear, we emerge from hard times stronger together. Let's create that platform for rising stars and unsung heroes wherever and whoever they may be. It's a new dawn. Let's lift the bar and watch our spirits rise again. In 2021, we rise. The theme is rise, and I would like to just sort of go back through this and connect myself to it and how I feel this relates to me. So obviously that first one's just sort of like, this is what happened. Droughts didn't so much affect me. I live on the coast though, so it rains more often than I would like it to, if I'm being completely honest. I would, if I could, I would love to send that rain to the people that need it, on the other side of the Great Dividing Range, but unfortunately, it seems to me like the rain clouds only like to go as far as the mountains, and then they just dissipate, which is unfair. I would love to be able to send the rain to the other side of the mountains, to the people that need it, to the farms and stuff that need it. Can't do it though. Not within my abilities, unfortunately. Fires, the massive fires that came through end of 2019, beginning of 2020. At the time, scary how close they got to me. Scarier still how close they got to my now ex. Because she lives on a property that was literally in the community where the fire closest to where I was living actually started. So that's terrifying. And honestly, the fact that they were able to come through that, being as strong as they were is a testament to them. I don't know if I would have been able to do that, especially since they were alone for a good majority of that. So that's just, next level. The floods, I think that was that Queensland got flooded? Once a year there's at least a cyclone in far north Queensland, but I don't know I think it might have been Brisbane got flooded. I could be completely wrong. And then obviously COVID, shutting us all inside our houses and making it so that there was no new movies to watch in the cinemas for at least 18 months. We love that. Look, we can all make that complaint. I'm not trying to make it out like that's a uniquely me thing. And I'm at the moment, I'm happy to just be staying inside watching WandaVision. Where are we? Let's come down to the Agents of Change paragraph, which is like the fourth one. When we rise to the occasion, amazing things can happen. That in and of itself is like an affirmation. That's a mantra. That's something that you wake up and you say, when I rise to the occasion, amazing things can happen. That is a good positive affirmation to say every morning. Which, I could then tie that into being a pagan, a witch, someone that entertains tarot cards and runestones, like that fits right in there alongside all that stuff. So that's something that I'm going to be, at least for the next week, that I'm going to be making a mantra when I rise to the occasion. Amazing things will happen. I am an agent of change. You could probably look through this and make a whole bunch of mantras, which I probably will do on my TikTok, if I'm being completely honest. Actually, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make some TikToks. Make some positive affirmation TikToks for the next week, one a day for the next week. Now I just need at least 3 other videos to post per day, so I can be making some content there. So when we rise to the challenge of being our true selves, this is the bit that I wanted to sort of talk about the most. If you've seen my initiation video, I talked about how my coven's mission and stuff is to it basically boils down to heritage, identity, legacy, and they literally put it of discovering our own identities. For me, it's not so much discovering, more embracing. I feel like if you're embracing who you are, and acknowledging that I'm slightly undressed because my shoes make me feel gross. I need to stretch my foot out. I'm getting pins and needles. Ow. But for me it's not so much discovering, it's more embracing. Because if you embrace that you are a human, that is also embracing that you're constantly learning, constantly discovering new things, and I feel like that then comes into that way. But identities, culture, I like that culture comes in there. Culture is, your culture could be part of your heritage. And then my legacy, what am I going to leave behind? What am I going to create? And that's where creativity comes in. So I really feel like that can sit with me on my spiritual level, of loving who we love. I feel like for me, that's gonna be a fun one. I feel like for me, loving who we love isn't just in a romantic sense, it's also in a platonic sense, it's in a familial sense, it's all the different ways. Who I'm friends with, who I choose to allow to, enjoy my company. And if someone doesn't enjoy my company, there is the door. You can show yourself out. I know that you're capable of opening that thing for yourself. Because if you don't enjoy my company, then I don't want it. So yeah. And I think between those two things, between the identity, the heritage, the legacy, sort of spiritual side of things, and the emotional, who are my friends, who's my romantic partner, who I consider to be family, all those sorts of things. I think those both come down to embracing that, and rising to that challenge of being my true self. I think, knowing what I know and pursuing the particular career that I pursue, can also sort of kind of come into that. What you do as a career is a way that you can define yourself. So that does sort of tie into being the identity. sort of thing. So yeah, that can sort of come into it, and then you know, like where you live, what you have, the kind of lifestyle you lead, that sort of thing. Those more material world sort of things really sort of ends up encompassing all four major aspects of life as we know it. I like the bit here where it says we overcome fear. Fear is sort of the defining trait, I think. Personal opinion. Fear is sort of like the defining trait of humanity specifically, because we don't have just like the in the moment sort of shock, you know, surprise sort of a thing of like, oh, okay, that scared me. Like we don't just exist by that specific instinct. We see that as like, you know, being scared and having fear. The difference of being something and having something. We see fear as a thing that we have, you know, like I have a fear of, you know, and it might be spiders or snakes or whatever it is that you're scared of. I try, and I think this has more or less become sort of like solidified since I got diagnosed with epilepsy, and then even furthermore once I, you know, this year, end of last year, when I got officially diagnosed with anxiety and depression, was I refuse to allow fear to stop me from doing something. I used to be scared of heights, but I feel like you only really truly grow as a person when you acknowledge that fear, embrace that fear, and choose to face it head on. If you allow fear to stop you from doing certain things or, you know, having certain experiences, you're not really living, in my opinion. You don't have to share that opinion, that's fine, I'm not going to judge you for it. But I have found that when people close to me allow themselves to be ruled by fear, it can become a point of contention, because obviously they've got a particular belief, I've got a particular belief, those things end up contradicting each other. It can be a point of contention, but I try not to let it be the sole reason that I like, you know, say something to them or whatever might happen. But I just personally believe exactly what this says, that we should overcome fear. We should acknowledge that it's part of who we are, but not a thing that controls us. It is part of us, but not like an oppressive cosmic force. You know, we can't, you know, unaided overcome gravity. That is a cosmic force that controls us. But we can overcome fear because it exists within our hearts and our minds. And by embracing it, acknowledging it, and overcoming it, we can learn to grow and become the people that we are meant to be. I think fears, and fear is obviously a great motivator, right? Like if someone's, you know, got a fear of failure, that's going to drive them to want to succeed. It's going to drive them to make sure that they're doing everything in their power to succeed at a thing. And so it's always going to be useful. It's always going to have its place in my life. But certain things like a fear of heights, you know, like the irrational fears. A fear, like, for instance, roller coasters. Roller coasters was how I overcame my fear of heights. They wouldn't make them that high or go that fast if they weren't, you know, safe and hadn't been tested before being opened to to someone like me to be able to write it. So, yeah. And I mean, in those sorts of situations, as long as you're following the directions that the trained staff are giving you for whatever particular, like, you're going to be safe, you know. Just don't think you know better than the person that's been trained in that thing. And that, I think, is sort of where that little element of fear comes in. Helps you to sort of be like, yeah, okay, this person knows what they're doing. If we don't want, you know, to have any unnecessary risks, we'll just listen to them. And yeah, like it says here, we will emerge from fear, from those places as stronger people, as more like wiser. We'll emerge from it being that little bit wiser, a little bit more worldly than we were before. And I mean, there's certainly things where, you know, I used to be I used to have arachnophobia. I used to be terrified of spiders, and I've still got a little bit of is it herpetophobia? Fear of snakes? I think it's herpetophobia. Still a little bit of that, but I live in Australia where we have like a majority of the top 10 world's deadliest snakes in the country. So a fear of snakes is kind of a survival tactic, really. I mean, I've literally been about as close as I am to the phone from a red-bellied black snake, which is a venomous snake. Luckily, it's not an aggressive snake like a king brown, because they will chase you. Red bellies, if you don't provoke them, they will just kind of be like, oh, okay, I won't be here. They're literally the snake equivalent to me with my social anxiety. They're like, people, yeah, ooh. So, but yeah. And then the last bit, creating a platform for rising stars and unsung heroes wherever and whoever they may be. Look, the amount of people that I have seen literally like double or triple their follow accounts on TikTok and stuff since I started following them, even if that's only been, 2 or 3 months, is incredible. There are people out there that have genuinely good ideas, or generally, like legitimate talents that deserve to have, the recognition that they are now receiving. And if me, if me following them and helping to make their platform that little bit bigger, helps me to create that platform for rising stars and unsung heroes, then I'm all for it. So yeah, I definitely think that for my first official Mardi Gras participation, because I haven't actually ever been to Mardi Gras before. So for my first one, I think this is a very good theme, and especially since last year, like it said, I mean, not in these exact words, but since last year was fucked, I definitely feel like now that things are starting to open up more, it's definitely time to start looking at living rather than just trying to survive. And so this is one way I'm doing it. I've also, I want to, by then, I'm no longer pursuing film as a career. I would love to be a film director. That's a fever dream. However, because of what the industry's like here, I've had so many people, like so many of my friends, be like, "You should work for Marvel. Like, you know what you're doing with on a technical film side of thing, and you also know the characters. You know how the stories tie together. Like, I'm that particular, like I'm that guy in the friends group who, oh, okay, so like I watched this whole movie and I just don't understand this one thing. What's that about? And I'm able to tell them exactly what that's about, because I know it inside and out. And so I've had friends be like, well, you're interested in this, like this is a thing that you have qualifications for, low-level qualifications, but qualifications nonetheless for, and the knowledge and passion to back it up. But it's just, I don't think it's going to happen for me, unfortunately. So I am now pursuing something else that I am passionate about, something else that will still give me a fulfilling career, where I'm still going to be able to work pretty much wherever I want. Yeah, I'm now pursuing something else. How is this tying in? How was this tying in? We took too long of a tangent, now I can't remember what I was saying. How I even got onto this particular strain. Yes, living rather than surviving. So, yeah, like I've got that planned. I've got some domestic travel, as well as once international borders are opened up again, I've got some national travel plans as well. And I'm working on once I start doing the study for the course that I need to do to be able to get the job that I'm now pursuing, I will actually have to move to do that course, which means I'll be able to have my own place, which means I'm going to be able to focus on in and around doing the first priority of study. I'll also be able to actually spread myself out across my different social medias and actually put my all into them, instead of trying to find quiet little moments like this to talk to you guys. As well as hopefully that will be able to satisfy the filmmaker in me that's never going to go away. It's always going to be a part of who I am, and making short films with friends and stuff is always going to be a thing that I do. I may even enter film festivals. In fact, that's going to become a priority, is making films to enter into film festivals. So it's never going to be a thing that's too far away. It's just going to be a thing that's going to be more thought, more thought out. So the films I make are going to be ones that I actually want to make, and not ones that I'm gonna, that I'm making because the company I work for needs that film made, or they've hired me to direct that particular film, or whatever it might be. So yeah. But yes, we've been knocked back. We've taken a moment to assess our situation, and we are, as the theme from Mardi Gras suggests, rising. But that's all I've got for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new here, and ring that notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. I will leave a link to the Mardi Gras website in the description down below, if you want to go and check it out for yourself. And if you're in New South Wales at the moment, and we're thinking of going, I may even see you there. That could be kind of cool. But yeah, until next time, guys, keep your head screwed up.